Hello, this week we're dealing with lesson or unit 11, chapters 40 through 45. Each one of the prophetic books are set in a particular history. And the more we understand the historical background of a passage, the more we're able to determine exactly what's being said in the passage. Chapters 40 through 45 of Jeremiah deal a lot with the historical background, just basically telling us what happened. Now, certainly scattered throughout, there are messages of Jeremiah that are spoken at various times during that history, but some of it is just simply relating what happened. So it reads like history because it is history. And beginning with chapter 1 of Jeremiah, God promised that ultimately judgment would come to Judah because of their sinfulness. He had said that inaugural vision that we find in chapter 1, where Jeremiah sees an almond tree, and then God relates to him through that pun that we find in chapter 1, that God is watching over His Word to do it. In other words, He's going to accomplish what He said He would do. What He said He would do is judgment is going to fall because of Judah and Jerusalem's sinfulness. In chapter 39 of Jeremiah, that judgment falls. The city falls to Nebuchadnezzar. And chapters 40 on through 45 relate the events that happened after that time. One of those events is that the Babylonians appointed a man named Gedaliah to be governor. And Gedaliah seems to have had the best interest of the Jewish people in his heart. He tried to do good, but he ultimately was assassinated. But Jeremiah, after the fall of Jerusalem, does an interesting thing. He's brought before the Babylonian authorities. Jerusalem has just fallen to the Babylonians. The Babylonians are carrying exiles to Babylon. For some reason, maybe they heard about Jeremiah's prophecies and Jeremiah urging the people to submit to Babylon. But the Babylonian authorities gave Jeremiah a choice. They said, you can go to exile with your people, or you can stay in Jerusalem. His choice is interesting because he had already prophesied with that vision concerning the good figs and the bad figs. He said the good figs are those that are in exile in Babylon. The bad figs are those that are left in Jerusalem. Jeremiah chose to stay in Jerusalem. Scripture never tells us why. We would think that Jeremiah had recognized, I want to be with the good figs, with the people that God is going to use in a good way. Instead, he chose to stay in Jerusalem. Jerusalem was destroyed. The situation there was terrible. And yet Jeremiah chose to stay. We don't know why. Now, I like to speculate, recognizing that my speculation is not Scripture, but just trying to understand. Try to put ourselves in that situation and sort of speculate. Why did he do that? Sometimes just that, as it's been called, a sanctified imagination, trying to speculate what's going on in the heart of Jeremiah and trying to put ourselves in that particular setting helps Scripture come alive to us. So as we go through this passage, think about what's going on in the heart of Jeremiah. He loved his people. He had been prophesying their destruction in spite of the fact that he loved them. But what's going on in the heart of Jeremiah? Think about it. No, there's ultimately no answer, but it does help Scripture come alive. I hope you have a blessed time as you study this particular passage this week. God bless you.